How's it going, everyone? It's Sourcing Route back with an all new video, and it's been a lot of while I haven't been uploading videos, so it's gonna be the next Cinema 4D one. So we're gonna be creating these awesome capsules here, and you can literally change everything in them. It doesn't really matter. It's very easy to do that once you have created this whole template. The only thing that you're gonna be needing is the text and the color. Okay, so the very first thing that I want to do here is or I want to mention here is that I am using a studio of GSG9 called Orange Shadow, and I want this type of distortion into our glass, and I want these balls to pop out of these capsules just like that and creating those distortion effects. So let's go ahead and simply start off. The very first thing we're going to be opening up our studio, and let's create a capsule. Let's align it to +X and move it a bit upward. Let's select our rectangle selection tool and let's focus onto it. Okay, so let's go to our capsule, select our capsule, and take the height segments to almost 15 segments, or maybe 12 segments, and the cap segments would be around 8, or you can take them down just if you want. Let's take them 6 because we really don't want cap, but I'm going to be keeping it 8 as preferred. Up to you. We pretty much have our capsule, the current state what we need. Press C on your keyboard to make it editable. You can simply click here, just select the capsule and click, and that's gonna make this editable. Okay, so select your capsule and let's make the solid side first. So let's make sure that everything is aligned pretty much perfect. I don't know why it's not aligning like that. Here we go. Let's select our rectangular selection tool. Make sure it's not live, rectangular selection, and if only select visible element is enabled, just disable it and enable tolerance selection. Now make a selection just like this to select all those edges, but maybe by a bit away so that it doesn't select those ones, and also verify that you're not selecting the things that are not needed. So here we go, everything's pretty much done. So now you can press delete on your keyboard to delete those parts, but don't worry, because we had just generated a lot more problems. So if you see, we're having it completely hollow. Maybe delete that again. And now if you see it, we're having the shape completely hollowed. So I want it to be solid, but right now I can't do anything. The very first thing I want to do is to create a new disk. Let's move the disk upward and align it to +X, and let's take the radius to around 75, maybe 50 radius, pretty much good. And there we go, it aligns itself, and there we have it. Now it's completely aligned and it looks pretty much solid, but we want to combine it. We want it as to be pretty much one object. So let's select these both, go to objects, connect objects plus delete, and that's gonna make it completely one. So we don't have to worry about that. Okay, now we have one side of our capsule created. Let's go ahead and create another. Let's go ahead and select our capsule, another capsule. Let's make it +X axis and let's move it around just like that. You can go to your forehead mount if you want to see things, how much they are aligning to each other. So if I go ahead right on the right one, I can see it's like that. Top one doesn't really matter. Let's go out on the front one, and there we have it. Let's check it out, and it's pretty much like aligned there. So let's go ahead into our perspective view, and there we go, it's pretty much aligned. Okay, the next thing I want to do is make sure first of all disable our disk here, the disk, or we can say it like solid part. Let's go to a capsule, and it's pretty much like the X, the Y divider. Let's go to and make it editable. Let's again select a rectangle selection tool, tolerance selection enabled, and only select visible element disabled, and let's make our selection just like this. There we go. So it's like everything done. Okay, now let's press delete on your keyboard. Now we need not to worry about this part because it would be hollow, because that is what our glass part would be. Let's enable the other capsule, and there we go, we have it pretty much done. Okay, let's create a new material and let's name it like solid material. We're gonna be doing the reflectings first. Let's go to our reflection channel and press remove to remove everything. Let's go to add and add a Beckman. Once you've added a Beckman, come down to layer Fresnel, and over here in Fresnel add a dielectric. Make sure the IOR is around 1.35. You can really adjust it according to yourself and really choose around with these presets. There are a lot of things you can do. We can select glass so that it gives us the glass look. Let's go to the color, and instead of color I'm going to disable the color channel, and let's enable the transparency channel. Once you've done that, you're having refraction, and enable the refraction to be 1.6, and that's going to give you the realistic glass material. Now don't worry, let's close this and apply this glass material to the other side of the glass capsule. Let's name it glass. Let's go ahead in our render setting and disable ambient occlusion. I'm going to be deleting it. Let's enable the physical. I'm going to be enabling the interactive render region for a while. So just for a bit of render, I can see it's pretty much like showing things. There we go, we're having that reflection and everything pretty much done up. Let's disable the interactive render region and set up our solid side. I don't know why I named it solid material. Let's name it like glass material. Okay, let's create another solid and let's name it like solid material. Let's go to a transparent reflectance, do the same, Beckman and Le Fresnel, add a dielectric. We need not to worry on the presets here, let it be as it is. Let's go to the color, and I'm going to be keeping the color around, I don't know how Illustrator looks like. Wait a second, just let me have a look over to it. Where's the Illustrator? I should open this up, and it's a pretty dank, dark, brownish color. Okay, so it's like pretty dank and dark brown, something like this. And if you want the color code, you go to HSV, type it 34, 84 and 22, or maybe 34, 84, 22. Yes, something like that. Apply this to a solid part, and that is gonna give you the realistic reflection which you could find here. Okay, it's pretty much working like the way I hope it to, but you can see we're having a bit of trouble. If I hope we're having it, let me see it. Nah, no specular problems. Okay, so let's go ahead and configure rest things up. The next thing we want to do is to make sure that a glass part is a bit wider. Something to consider. Okay, what is that? Because I've literally deleted all these, but these shapes would be left after. So what we can do is to go ahead and select a solid part, and let's disable the glass for let me show you what I really mean here. So if I go ahead and click onto this the points tool or the point mode, you can see we're having all these points left after we have deleted the polygon type or the polygon mode when we set it up. So what we need to do is to right click and click on optimize so that it removes all those, and do the same over here in glass. So if I remove that, you can see it's pretty much like left out here. Right click, optimize. That is gonna disable some of delete some of these points, and also gonna improve the FPS around here. Let's take over to our glass, move it way bit up, just a bit out there, and let's scale it maybe 120, 130, and let's move it around and join it back again. Why I did that? I just want to have a pretty much good look out there because I want to see how it would be looking like. Okay, now once that's done, what we need to do here is to create another, or just create a sphere and not another sphere. I'm going to be taking the type to cause a hedron, and let's make it like, I don't know, 18, and let's take down the radius to be 20, or maybe 10. Yep, 10, 12, I don't know what to say. And we're gonna be naming it like sphere, and let's create a new material. Let's go ahead and name it like sphere ATT material. And let's go back to reflectance, add that Beckman, do the same stuff, layer Fresnel, dielectric, color, and let's make it pretty orange type look. Yep, there. Let's enable this onto our sphere, and there we go, we're having get that look now. Let's go to MoGraph and click on cloner. Let's set this cloner, and out here in cloner, instead of linear cloning, make it object, and over here in object tab right here, pick up our glass, so that's once over there. Now this is gonna be a bit of trouble, I know. Let's go ahead, instead of vertex, set it to be volume, and now it's gonna start up spawning them over to volume. You can take down the count just in case if you want them, like 400. You can always experiment around the seed, just see which suits you perfect. I hope this one would be pretty much good. Maybe something like this. Yeah, let's take them to 50. Let's see what we get. Yeah, we're getting more and more things coming up. Okay, now once that's done, what I need to do, it won't be looking for now, but it's gonna look pretty much dope later because when we haven't rendered it yet. Let's zoom in and let's make a side look because I want to see what's happening out here. Let's go to MoGraph and create more text. It would be spawning right mine somewhere. I don't know, it's There it is. Let's type in AI for Illustrator. Just click anywhere. Maybe what I'm going to be doing is that scaling it down. Not maybe, we need to scale it down. Here we are. Okay, so once that's done, let's click over to our more text and increase the depth to around 50. Doesn't really matter because it's going all inside. And let's nevertheless, don't mind the subdivision. Let's go ahead and create a subnobs object, or you can say subdivision. Let's parent this, and that is going to give us with some pretty much good results. And here inside of subdivision surface, you can select Catmore Clark if you're using objects like S, because S generally comes up and messes everything up. If you go ahead and maybe just enable Catmore Ngons, and if I go to text and if I press a S there, so you can see we're having that sort of thing coming up. So you can go to subdivision surface and enable Catmore Clark, and that's gonna solve it up. So we don't need S here. Alright, let's go and click outside, and there we have it. So there's our text. You can type in text, and here our cloner, our glass part, and let's just zoom out, and there we go. It's like pretty much done and completed. Please do not enable ambient occlusion, because just in case if you want to have an experiment around it, you can see what will it do. So let's enable caustics. I pretty much like caustics because caustics pretty much provide with these good results over here over to the glasses. Let's go to our text, inside of text here, and let's scale it up a bit. Let's move it around just like that. Let's hold control, duplicate the text, disable it out here in your viewport, renderer, and completely. Click on edit, select the upper one, click on edit, select children, objects, connect objects plus delete. Let's go ahead and add a bend deformer to it, and click on bend deformer, fit to parent, keep y-axis length, and let's bend it. So it's pretty much like, oh no, I don't know why you just don't use those. Right here. Okay, so if you bend this, it goes that side, so you can change the angle to almost 90 degrees, and that is gonna go other. Let's take it like 10, I don't know, 15. Whoa, it's working. 20. Let's move it down. Oh, not the bend deformer, move the text downward just like that. Move it a bit outside, and there we go. You have your work done. Now click over to your camera, adjust it like wherever you want it to be, like right around here, and right click over to camera, C40 tags, and enable a protection tag. And if you finally render this out, let's go to render settings. Let me show you what you can do more. Let's go to output. You can change this according to yourself. I'm going to be keeping it for now like that. Anti-aliasing options. So let's go to physical and enable depth of field. And out here you can always take the sampler quality to medium, high, or according depending on your PC. I'm going to be keeping that low for a while. So let's render this out and see what we get. Alright, so now you can see we're having the results we pretty much wanted, and I've almost forgot to put that material over here. Doesn't really matter, you can always go ahead and put that, so I'm going to be cancelling it for now. I really don't want it to render like that. It's pretty slow. So let's go back in and let's apply this material to text too, and that is going to look that done. So if I go to garage shading, it's working. Okay, now you can see here like everything's done. So if you want to create it, like go to any different color, you need not to worry about anything. You just need to change these materials. For example, if you're using orange shadow or GSG9 grayscale gorillas, you just need to change this cycles material like for Photoshop, like pretty dank darkish blue, and out here you could sphere and make it like pretty white bluish cyan, and out here you can make it like dark or maybe bit dark blue here, and that is gonna change up. If you go to text, we pretty much saved it out here, so you need to do the same out there and just enable the bend deformer and do all this stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure that you like and subscribe for more tutorials coming up, and if you haven't followed me over on Instagram, make sure that you follow that. It's _HeySaurav, and it's Saurav from FrostZ Tech, signing out.